It's not what's in the glass. Is this the greatest wine? It's like, no, how do I present this to you, and how do we communicate while we're having a glass of wine? Hi, my name is Christopher Seeley. I'm a wine and hospitality professional, and this is a day in my life. Well, an average day in my life, I shuttle kids to school. So I have 2 children. I will take them to school. Go through a bit of a meditation process. I will have a pour over coffee, emails on some orders, confirming what is coming, what is not. People often ask, hey, what does service look like in Aloe? This space is unique in that it doesn't function like a classic or typical restaurant service. We are tasting menu only. It is not sort of with a trolley as we're trained, or with a Lido as we're trained, present the wine, open the wine, move around the table as we are trained. When you get into the restaurant world, not all spaces are designed that way, and you start to have to be nimble and flexible. I won't be in service today. I'm running a Parcel Wine Studio session. And Parcel is an extension of my brain, an extension of years of experience of travel, wine writing, wine education. It is a program designed to engage and restore. How do we taste wine? How do you see yourself in wine? It is structured, but it is also loose and focused on energy and an exchange. And so that is a other extension of what I do on my day-to-day. If it's not Aloe related in terms of my work, my 9 to 5, so to speak. My story is different. I know it's not unique because I think there's other people out there like me, maybe don't have the opportunity to tell their story. So I'm here letting you know that there are other ways. I got into wine as I returned from living in Paris. And so when I came back to Toronto, instead of going back to a traditional job doing the thing, I felt, hey, maybe I would be best in a restaurant. And I found it was the engagement with different people in all of these different spaces that actually fueled who I was and what I wanted to do. I decided, let me do some wine education. That is where I fell into the CAPS program, Canadian Association of Professional Sommeliers, a wine program out of George Brown, teaches and talks to you about the major wine regions of the world. And I said, okay, this could be interesting. This could be a smarter way, a more useful way to become a student of the industry. Often in the restaurant with guests, hey, you're the somm who won the Michelin. What was that like? You won the Michelin star and the Michelin award. For me, I was always concerned with having and giving the guest almost a tailored individual experience every moment. And I think what the Michelin judges, whoever they were coming in, I was speaking to them in real clarity. You know where this wine comes from? Do Greeks make good wine? Well, let me tell you. The origins of wine come through what we know carbon dated in Georgia, moves through parts of the Middle East. So I give people this history lesson, they're like, oh my God. And then we get to Greece. And this is what the Greeks did, because this is what I've learned from traveling to Greece. I felt I was just like being Christopher Seeley with these people. Someone who is Canadian, French speaking, grew up in Mississauga, grew up in Guelph, happens to be from a West Indian home and culture and heritage, who is Black, but is also like observing and exploring the world. That is what I was giving to them. And if Michelin recognized that, I'm like, that's dope. It's nothing to do with this, what people think. That's the last thing I ever want to do. It's not what I'm about. My relationship with George Brown College has been longer than I had imagined based on engagement. So I've often been back in that same classroom that I did my original CAP studies with wine professionals, instructors, now educators. I've now become an educator myself, having done a George Brown's Wines 101. The George Brown interaction relationship that I have had has been repeat, has always been in nurture, and it's all been about human engagement and engagement with people. One through wine, but what's happening, the dance. And then you can consume and drink the thing and travel, and then it becomes a lot more fulfilling. If a career in this industry interests you, George Brown College has many culinary and hospitality management programs to explore at the link below. But I actually don't drink as much as you think. I drink to observe and study, and I drink for curiosity. It was like one of those Oscar moments where your name is being called and you're like, you don't know what to do because no one told you about anything, you're not expecting it. I'm like, why is my name up there? I will finish a bottle over 3 days. But that is a bit odd. It's like, oh, that's odd. I used to do that, but it's not helpful for anyone.